You don't need more hours in your day. You need your WordPress site to finally start doing its job for you. Okay, so you hit publish, and instead of celebrating, you're stuck in the same loop. Resizing images, updating old posts, copying leads into spreadsheets. Doing all the things you thought your website would handle by now. You've tried batching, you've tried scheduling, you've even told yourself you'll just hire someone. But none of that matters if your system still depends on you showing up every time. Because the real time saver isn't another productivity hack. It's letting your site do the repetitive stuff automatically. And actually, once you see how simple that can be, you'll never look at WordPress the same way again. So in this video, I'll set up 3 dead simple automations with the same tool on my site that you can copy today, and it can save you 10 to 20 hours per week. Just think of what you could do with that time back. Okay, so let's look at social media. It can be a big deal for all of us, but it can also be a big headache too. As soon as you hit publish on your latest post, you're juggling tabs, resizing images, writing captions, and copying links to every social platform you're on. It's exhausting, and deep down, you wonder if there's even a point. Some people try to post less, thinking quality over quantity will save time. Others try batching content, hoping they'll somehow keep up with the algorithm. But what if your site could handle that for you automatically every single time you hit publish? Well, that's what I'm going to show you how to do right now with a pretty cool automation that includes some AI magic. Okay, so the first step in this video is to log into your WordPress dashboard, just like I have for my demo site right here. And to automate posting to social media from your website, you're going to need a specific plugin. And that plugin is Uncanny Automator. Now you'll see over here in the left-hand side on my site here, I have Uncanny Automator already installed. All you need to do to get it on your site is go to plugins here, hover over that, and then click on add plugin. Then come over to the search bar and type in Uncanny Automator. You'll then see Uncanny Automator here. You're just going to click on install and then activate to get it on your site. You see I've got it active on this site right here, and this is the free version of Uncanny Automator. And the fantastic thing about the free version of Uncanny Automator is if I just click on it here in the sidebar, it brings us to the Uncanny Automator setup wizard. And basically all you have to do here is connect to Uncanny Automator for your free account. And with your free account, you get 250 app credits to use and test out for different integrations to see if the automations I'm going to show you in this video work for you. Now, you can do that, or you can visit the link in the description and go to the Uncanny Automator website like this. Click on the Get Uncanny Automator Now, and then you can choose a plan that suits you. And this basic plan right here, which is currently at $149 a year, and the link in the description will get you the best price possible. This is absolutely insane, the amount of value this plugin gives you. So definitely get it, because it gives you unlimited usage of Uncanny Automator. So any of the automations I show you in this video, if you think they're going to be good for you, definitely get this. Right, let's hop back over to the dashboard. Right, and for this, I'm just going to click on connect my free account. And the next step is just to sign up for free right here. So you can do that either by entering your details or connecting to Google or Facebook here. And you'll see the different integrations that you'll get access to. So I'm just going to go through and connect my account like this. Okay, and then setup is complete. So you just can click the return to dashboard button. Okay, so now you see the Uncanny Automated dashboard. Okay, so let's get to the fun bit where we can actually create an automation on this website so that every time someone posts a blog post on your site, it is automatically posted on different social channels. In this example, I'm going to show you it being posted on a Facebook page, but it can be Instagram, Twitter as well. And you can do them all together in one automation as well. Now, automations in Uncanny Automator are called recipes. So you'll be able to see that you've got all recipes, add new recipe here. This is how we're going to get started and building our automation. But before we do that, I'm going to come down to app integrations here and click on that. And I just want to show you how many integrations are available in Uncanny Automator. So you can start thinking about how you can piece things together, maybe with some of the software that you actually use for your business and you want to connect to your site. So basically, we've got things like Active Campaign, Anthropic, and Asana as project management. We go further on down, we've got ClickUp, Constant Contact, DeepSeek, Discord, got Facebook here, GitHub, Google Sheets, Google Gemini, HubSpot, Instagram, LinkedIn Pages, and a whole load more. Now for the automation that I'm going to be showing you right now, we need to have our Facebook Pages integration set up. So I'm just going to click on that. And now we can see we've got our Facebook Pages information there. We're just going to click on Connect to Facebook account. And this is going to take you through to authorize your Facebook account and then select the page to connect to Uncanny Automator. So I'm going to do that now. Okay, so now you can see that I've connected to my Facebook account and we have a linked page right here, which is a demo account for this video. Now that we've done that, I am going to show you how to create this automation. So we're going to come over to add new recipe here, click on that. And the next choice we're going to get is to whether we want to create this automation for just logged in users or for everyone. Now this automation is going to work for anything, but we're just going to click on everyone in this automation and then click confirm. Okay, so now we can see we can start editing this automation or recipe as it's called here in Uncanny Automator. The first thing we're going to do is add a title. So I'm just going to call this post to Facebook. And then the next option we get is the trigger. And the trigger is the action that takes place to set off the automation. So in this case, it's going to be when a post is published on this site. So we can come to the WordPress integration right here, click on that. And then we can search for triggers. So we can either search for it by typing it in here, or we can go through the list right here. So we can see a post in a taxonomy is published, a post in a taxonomy is updated, and there's a post is published. I'm going to choose a post is published, and then we get to choose the type of post that's published. So if we click on this drop down right here, we can see any post type, post, page, or anything else. We're going to choose post, and then you just click save to save that trigger. Okay, so we've got our trigger in place. Now we're going to select the action. And from here, we're just going to click on the add action button. That's opening up all our integrations again. And we can see our Facebook Pages integration, because we've connected to it, is right here. So we're just going to select that. And then again, just like triggers, you now select the action from the list. So we can either publish a post to a Facebook page or publish a post with an image to a Facebook page. So I'm going to select this one right here. And now we can see the Facebook page that this post is going to be posted to. And we get to select our image URL or media library ID. And the way that we can do this is if we click on the star right here, we can now search for the image URL. So if I click on the trigger section right here, a post is published, we can see we get a couple of options, the post URL or the post featured image URL. So I'm going to select that. And as long as our post has a featured image, that is the image that we posted on the Facebook page. Okay, so next we can choose the message that is actually posted within the post on Facebook. So we can type something in custom here, or we can again come to the star over here, click on that, and then come down to a post is published, so the trigger bit, and then scroll down a little bit. And here you can see you can add things like post title, post ID, post URL, post slug, and things like that as well. Put the post content, but that might be a bit long, or the post excerpt if you've written one. So I might select that. Okay, so now we've got our post excerpt in there, and also I'm going to hit return to go below that, and I'm going to add in the post URL for good measure as well, so that people visit the site once they see this on the Facebook page. So I'm going to click on post URL there, and then click on save. Okay, so now with this automation, once a post is published on the site, that's going to trigger the action of Uncanny Automator posting on our Facebook page that we selected with the information that we've added to this automation. So the post excerpt and the post URL. So that's fantastic, and in itself is really useful and saves a lot of time. Now we can see that the trigger and the action are live right here. So the next thing to do to publish this and make it live on the site is just click the toggle right here. Okay, so now that's live on your site, and every time a post is published on this site, it will be shared on that Facebook page. I'm going to show you what that looks like on screen right now, but we can take this a step further. What if there was a way of us connecting our WordPress site with ChatGPT where it would look at the post and then create content for the post that's being published on the Facebook page from the content within the post? So you didn't have to use the excerpt. I'm going to show you how to do that. And now to do this step, you are going to need an OpenAI account. But once you've got one, you can follow along. So I'm just going to head over to App Integrations over here. And then I'm going to scroll down to OpenAI. Click on that. And here we're going to get a bit of information about the type of actions that OpenAI can do for us within Uncanny Automator. And we've got setup instructions as well if you want to go through that. I am going to show you how to do this. So what we need to connect to OpenAI is something called a secret key. So what you have to do is head over to openai.com, log in to your OpenAI account. You're going to see this screen right here. I've created a project right here for Uncanny Automator. You can do that by clicking on this and then clicking on Create Project. From here, all I'm going to do is click on Dashboard, and then I'm going to go to API Keys. And this is how we create our secret key for our website. Now you can see I've already done one right here, but I'm going to create a new one. And I'm going to do that by clicking on Create New Secret Key up here. I can give this key a name. So I'm just going to call it Uncanny 2 because I've already got one. And then once I filled that in and selected the project, I'm just going to click on Create Secrets Key. And now I've got my secret key on screen right now, which I am going to blur out. I'm just going to click the copy button to copy that, and then head over to my WordPress dashboard. And now I'm back in my WordPress dashboard. I'm going to come down to the secret key section right here and paste that secret key in, which is also going to be blurred out. But then I'm going to come down to the Connect OpenAI account right here and click on that to make the connection. And now we can see we've got a success message saying that we are connected to OpenAI. So now we can head back to our automation recipe. So we're going to go over to all recipes over here in the left-hand bar, in the sidebar on the left, click on that. And then we can see this is the one that we were working on. Just hover over the title and then click on edit. Okay, so we've got the post to Facebook automation as we set it up earlier. Now I'm going to just add in the OpenAI action right here because we can leave the trigger as it is, and we'll edit this Facebook pages post in a minute. So I'm just going to click on add action, and then we can see we've got OpenAI right here. Just going to click on that. Just like we did with Facebook, we can then take a look at all of the different actions available from OpenAI. Now, the one that we're looking for is to generate an excerpt suitable for Instagram with GPT-4. So I'm just going to click on that. Okay, so now we've selected that, we can now add in the content that we want OpenAI to look at. So we're going to come over here to the start over here. We're just going to click on that. And then we're going to go to the trigger. So a post is published. We're going to click on that. And then we're going to scroll down until we see post content raw and click on that. And what that means is that OpenAI will use the post content to generate an excerpt for the Facebook page. So once you've done that, just click on save to save that action. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drag this by holding on this handle right here above the Facebook action. Hopefully drag the Facebook action below it. There we go. Now we're going to edit the Facebook action by clicking this right here, and we're going to leave the Facebook page and image URL exactly as it is. We're going to come down to the message. So I'm just going to scroll down a little bit. And where it says post excerpt, I'm going to get rid of that. And then we're going to come over to the star right here, click on that, come to the OpenAI action, click on that, and scroll down a little bit. And we can see generated excerpt right there is an option. I'm going to click on that. And now we've selected that. So now when this is posted to Facebook page, it's going to use what OpenAI has generated from the actual content of the post. I'm going to leave the post URL in there as well, so people can click on that link from Facebook and visit the site. So then from there, once you're happy with everything in that message, you're just going to click on save. And now that's all set up. And once a post is published on your site, ChatGPT is going to create an excerpt that's then going to be published with an image on the Facebook page you've selected. And as you can see, this is live already on the site. Now, keeping your top posts up to date and evergreen often feels more like doing maintenance forever. We've all been there. You schedule to update your top posts, but life and deadlines get in the way. Weeks turn into months and your ultimate 2025 guide quietly becomes outdated. Some people tell themselves, I'll just do a big content refresh once a year. Others hire freelancers to track old posts, only to spend more money and time managing them. There is a much easier and less expensive way to stay on top of content updates, so let's jump right in. Okay, so for our next automation, we're going to be creating automatic content update reminders and tasks using Uncanny Automator. But first, we're going to connect or integrate to the tools that we're going to use. So I'm just going to come over to Automator over here, hover over that, and then come to app integrations. And then just like we did before, we're going to connect an app to Uncanny Automator. Now, as this is for like content update reminders or tasks in project management software, we can connect to things like Asana or ClickUp, or we can also connect to like Discord or things like Slack as well. But for this example, we're going to connect to ClickUp, and then I'm also going to show you how to set up an email reminder as well. So first thing we're going to do is connect to ClickUp, which is right here. I'm just going to click on that. Once I've selected ClickUp, you'll see all the actions that you can do with ClickUp using Uncanny Automator. But I'm just going to click on the Connect to ClickUp account button right here, and then go through the authorization process. And like I said, this could be ClickUp, Asana, Trello, any of those project management systems that you might use with your business. So we can see that I've already signed into ClickUp, so I can see the workspace that I need to connect to. So I'm just going to click on that, select that workspace, and then click on the Connect Workspace button. Okay, so now ClickUp's connected to Uncanny Automator. Let's create this automation, and I'll walk you through exactly what's going to happen in the flow of this automation as well as we're building it. So I'm just going to come over to add new recipe over here on the left, click on that. And for this recipe or automation, because it's about content reminders, I'm just going to allow it for logged in users, and then click on confirm. Then, as in the previous automation, I'm just going to give it a name. And as this automation is for new published posts on the site, I'll just call this new published post update. And that way I can also create another automation for updating already published posts as well. And I'll talk you through that in a minute. Next, we're going to select our trigger, which is WordPress. And then in the list of triggers right here, we're just going to scroll on down to a user publishes a post, or a user publishes a post in a taxonomy. Now I'm going to be using a user publishes a post, but if you clicked on a user publishes a post in a taxonomy, and I'll just talk you through this one, you then get to select the post type. So you can click drop down here, and then we can select any post type, post or page. I'm going to select post. Then for taxonomy, if I click the drop down, you then get the option to select categories or tags. So for this, if a user on our site publishes a post with in a specific category or has a specific tag, it will trigger this automation, which is pretty cool. So if I selected category, and then I selected the term by clicking that drop down to popular, that will then set up that trigger. So any popular posts that are being published on the site by a user would trigger this automation. I'm just going to cancel that, and then I'm just going to delete this item right here by clicking on the three dots and then clicking delete. And the trigger I actually really want is, I'm just going to click on WordPress. I'm going to scroll down in the trigger list to a user publishes a post. And then for the post type, I'm just going to click on this drop down and select post as well, and then click save. So now my trigger is a user publishes any post on this site. It's going to trigger this automation. Okay, so now we can move on to actions right here. And the action we want to take as part of this update process is for a task to be added to our project management software, in this case ClickUp, to alert our content team or our writers or whoever's looking after posts to update that post. So we're going to click on add action, and we can see because we connected to ClickUp already. We've got ClickUp here. We can click on that. And then we can select from this actions list right here. So we've got add a comment to task, add a tag to task, which is really handy, create a list, or create a task. There are plenty more below this as well, so you can take a look. I'm just going to click on create a task, and then we get a whole load of options to make sure that this task goes in the right place in our ClickUp account. So under team right here, you can select the workspace within ClickUp. So I'll click on that drop down, and I've only got one workspace, so I'm just going to select that. Then within that, you can select a space, which is currently website, which is the correct one. Folders, I don't have any folders, so it's a folderless list. And then under lists, you can click on that, and then you can select any of the lists that you have within that space. I've got post update selected. I'm going to keep that selected as it is. So this task will now be created within my post updates list, which is exactly where I want it. So now we're going to create a task. What's that task going to say? So we're going to scroll on down here to name and description. So for name, I'm just going to type in update, leave a space, come over to the star over here, and now we can insert something here. And because our trigger is a user publishes post, we can click on that, and then we can select the post title. So I'm going to click on that, and now you can see the name will be update and then whatever the post title is. So someone automatically knows what the post is about. In the description, I'm just going to type this post needs updating, and then I'll hit return a couple of times, and I'll add the post title and the post URL there by clicking on the star, clicking under triggers here, selecting the post title, hitting return again, and then clicking on the star, choosing the trigger again, and clicking on post URL. So that then immediately gives anyone that's going to be updating this post and sees this task, the title of the post that needs updating, and also in the description, the post URL, so they can go straight to that as well. You can do a lot more cool things here with the ClickUp action as well. We can choose an assignee. So if it's not myself and it's someone else in the team, I can click on this drop down and I can select them from the list here. And this will automatically be assigned to them when it's triggered. Same with adding tags, status. So you can add this to a specific part of the list. So if it's to do, you can add it to do. Priority, you can also select it as high priority, so it gets done. And then you can give it a due date, due time, and all the rest of this information as well. But I'm going to leave all those blank. I'm just going to click on save. So now we've created an automation that basically triggers when a post is published on the site, and it creates a task in our project management system. But there is one issue here. This update task is currently being created when this post is published. And that causes a bit of an issue because we don't actually want this task to be created until the time we need the post to be updated. So if you're running your content on a 30, 60 day update, then you'll need a way to delay this action taking place. And this is a really, really cool part of Uncanny Automator. And we can actually hover over here and we can create delays and filters. And these are part of the paid version of Uncanny Automator. So you will need access to that plan before you can access these features, but these are very, very powerful. So to create this delay, we're going to click on this delay button. That opens this little module right here. And now we can delay by a time frame, or we can schedule it on a specific date, or use custom tokens. We're going to use the delay function up here. We're going to click on that, and then we're going to change this drop down right here to days. And I'm just going to put 30 in the units here. So 30 days after this trigger, this action will take place. And then I don't have to do anything else. I just click on set delay. Okay, so that's fantastic. We've set that up and that is ready to go. I did say I'd show you how to add an email notification as well. And this could be a Slack notification if you wanted it to be. So I'm just going to click on add action here, click on emails, and then there's only one thing that you can select right here is send an email. And now, very much like the ClickUp task, we can configure an email to be sent from this site to our content team or whoever manages updates for posts on the site. So going through this very quickly, content type, you can leave it as it is. From email, you need to select that. If it's the admin email of the site, keep it as admin email. From name, set the site name. And then below that, you can add in your to email address. So this could be contentteam@website.com or whatever your website is. Just get rid of that. You can set a reply to email address if you want to as well. CC, BCC if you want to. It's completely optional for those ones. And then we need to add in a subject and body as well. So very similar to how we set up ClickUp, we could put in update and then select the star and select the post title and do exactly the same for the body of the email as well. So we now have the post art and post URL in there. You can see you can add file attachments and things like that as well. And we can also send a test email. And it's really, really important that you do this so that you make sure this all works. Testing is a very important part of creating automations. And one thing I will say is make sure that you have WP Mail SMTP already set up on your site, because it's going to make sending these type of emails from your website super easy, and they won't end up in spam or lost or not even delivered. Just make sure that's on your site when you're sending emails from it, because it's going to help a lot with those emails actually being received. Okay, so now that's done, we're just going to click on save, and we can see we've got our email action set up there. And obviously this is again going to be triggered because it's not currently delayed. It's going to be triggered when this post is published. So what we're going to do is create that delay again. Type in 30 and select days and then select delay. So now if we take a step back, we can see that our trigger is a user publishes a post, and then 30 days after that post is published, we're going to get a task created in the right part of our project management software. So our team note to update this post, and then a content lead or our content team are also going to receive an email as well about that update. So we've created one trigger and two actions. And obviously you can create as many actions as you want and layer them into this as well. The next step from here is just to make sure automation is live on the site by clicking this little toggle right here. And now that's ready to go. If you're like most of the thousands of businesses out there, you probably use a spreadsheet or app to store data. Let's face it, you started your website to grow your business, not to become a part-time data clerk. So if you've ever found yourself in the position of copying orders, entering email addresses, updating sheets, and inevitably fixing typos, you might think, I need to hire someone for this. But what if the smarter hire was your automation system? And that system could be set up once and run with speed and accuracy. This one can literally save 10+ hours a week for busy businesses, which is huge. So let's do it. Okay, so now we're going to use Uncanny Automator to connect WordPress to Google Sheets or Notion or Airtable, something like that, so that we can store the data from WooCommerce orders or our forms into those places automatically and easily. First, we're going to set up the integration. So we're going to come over to Automator over here, and we're going to come down to App Integrations. And then we're going to come down to the Google Sheets integration, but we can also integrate into Notion as well if we wanted to. That's a bit further on down here. I'm going to come back up to Google Sheets and click on that. And just like every other integration, we're just going to connect, authorize it, and then we should be good to create our automation or recipe in Uncanny Automator. So I'm just going to click on sign in with Google and go through authorization. Okay, so now we can see that we are connected to my Google Sheets account, and I've also selected a spreadsheet from that will be available when we create the automation. So let's go ahead and create that automation by going over to add new recipe here and clicking on that. And for this one, we're just going to click on the everyone type for the automation and click on confirm. And then just like before, we'll just give this recipe a name. I'm going to put send order to Google Sheets. Okay, so now we've given it a name, and like I said, this could be, sending an order or sending information from a form, as we've got WP forms on here as well. We could do that. Our trigger in this one is going to be a WooCommerce order, so we're going to click on Woo here and click on that. And then within the list of triggers, we can scroll down and see all the different ones that we can use to trigger this automation. So there's lots of product specific ones here. Things like a guest purchases a product, guest purchases a product in a category, and a guest purchases a product variation. So we can really dial this in to the specific products on our site. I'm just going to click on a guest purchases a product, and then we can select the triggering condition. So we can click this drop down and we can go for pays for, completes, lands on a thank you page. So we can set up things for people on a thank you page as well, which is really cool. But I'm just going to put pays for and then click save. And then we can select the product. So we can set this up for any product on our site. If I click on this drop down, I can then select this copywriting book product right here. So we can do that and then click save. So now we're setting up this send order to Google Sheets automation for a specific product, the copywriting book on our site. Then in the actions, we're going to add the Google Sheets action. So we're going to click on add action and then click on Google Sheets. And we've got two things we can do here. We can either create a row in a Google Sheet or update a row. Well, this is a new order, so it's going to be to create a row in a Google Sheet. Okay, so now we can figure out Google Sheets action by selecting the spreadsheet first. So that's the spreadsheet I just added, which is the website data spreadsheet. Then it's going to pick up the first sheet within that spreadsheet, which is the sheet 1. And then it automatically also pulls in all the columns for that sheet, which is basically just a demo spreadsheet for a product order. So there would be a lot more columns here, but this is just to give you an idea of what this automation can do and how powerful it is. So it automatically already pulls in all the columns, and then you can start mapping those columns to the order information that you get from WooCommerce. So I come down here, and for the product ID, I can either enter a value or I can click on the star here like we have before, come down to the trigger part, click on the Woo trigger, and then we get access to all the information from that order. So the product ID, I can select that there, and now those are linked up. And the same for quantity. I go down here and I pick and just select the product quantity. Same for first name. Come down and pick the, missing it, billing first name, billing last name, and I'll just pick the address line 1 as well. But you can also add as many columns as you need in here, and it will pull all that information in, and then you select it from WooCommerce. So you can see that this can be completely customized to whatever you need. This does not need to be orders. It can be forms or anything like that. Once you've got all that set up, then you can save that action. And then what happens when a guest pays for the copywriting book? Well, their information gets added to that spreadsheet. So then that order can be fulfilled. Maybe it's to be packaged and shipped out. And just like before as well, you can send out emails and you can connect up many more actions right here, as you can see. So it's a really, really powerful tool for anyone adding data to things. And like I said, it can also, if we set up the Notion side of things as well, you can have multiple places that this data can go with one trigger. So you could have the Google Sheet, you could have Airtable and Notion, just wherever you store your information. And it can update things like in databases for customers and things like that as well. So once we've added that in and we're happy with it, just click on the draft toggle to enable it. And now that's live on the site. And when someone pays for that book, they'll then get added to that and their product will get shipped out to them. Okay, so those are the 3 automations that can save you a lot of time and money. And to be honest, I've just scratched the surface with automations for your WordPress site. And I'd be really interested to hear if you want more like this, as we have a ton of ideas. So let me know in the comments below. Emails are also a huge area that busy website owners grapple with daily, with things like what do you do with leads coming in? How do you respond in a way that can make you more money? And is there a way to automate this? Yes, there is. So watch this video next.